Yo, yo, yo. What up, peoples? What's going on? Happy flipping Thursday. Hope everybody had a great day yesterday. We got some new stuff for the channel, man. Yeah. No way, it's Strim, dude. Yeah, it's Strimmer. Yo.
Now that we're friends again, is it okay if I pet you?
Thanks, dude. Ferret. You sneaky little ferret. Yo, thanks, brother. Oh, we're about to have a year, dude. A year. Oh, you're about to get a tentacle, dog. Sick. Yeah, boy. Thanks, brother. What's up, guys? Pinky, ferret, what's going on? As you can see, we're now able to run our new montages for the startup of the stream and everything too. I don't have an overlay yet to identify that it's actually people watching montage, but I am still working on that. I've got stuff cooking. So I think I've got some stuff that that's coming our way. Okay. Yeah. Dude, Ferret, thanks very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Incredible, dude. Almost a year already, dog. Jesus. It's crazy, man. Time flies, right? So, also got like a couple of commands put in for like, it does fly. That's right, dude. I love that emote. That emote's so good, dude. I got a command put in for music. That way, if people want to look at the playlists that I'm currently running in the channel, and I'll try to keep those updated if I change out. But right now, that'll like let people know what playlists I'm running in the channel, as well as we got these put in now. Boom. That'll take people to a playlist that has our channel montages in them and everything too, if people want to check those out. So we got some things done yesterday. Not as much as I wanted to, but some things. Yeah. New mug. Well, I've had this mug for a little bit. I showed it off a little bit ago. This guy. Hey there, pumpkin. My wife got it for me because it was orange. And she thought it was funny. So my wife got me this new mug. My other one, the handle broke off of it. Yeah. So I've had this one for a little bit now. Probably a couple weeks anyways. Yeah. She got me this shirt too. Check out this shirt, dog. She got me this shirt, bro. How cool is this shirt, dude? Bro, she got it in the mail yesterday and showed it to me, and I was stoked. And I don't have any purple shirts, dude, and I love purple. So, well, besides, I've got purple dress shirts, but I don't have just like purple t-shirts. I don't know why, but I love purple. So she got me a purple shirt. I like it, dude. It's funny. So I'm rocking this bad boy today. Shout out to the wife, dude. Fits with the spooky vibes too, so it's good stuff, man. Hope you guys are doing well, man. Yeah, so few new things for the channel. You know, I'm always trying to work on getting some new stuff popping off, and we'll keep progressing on that front. So you guys keep throwing me ideas, and you guys are good about that stuff. I'll keep trying to incorporate them. I don't have the unlurk thing yet. I need to get that done. Unlurk, and then the what was the the flipping the thumbs up with the what's that, the name of that flipping emote, dude? The bussers, dude. Yeah, bussers. I need to get that one done too. But we got some stuff done. It's good, dude. The Wednesdays are so nice to be able to work on stuff like that, you know. So a few new VODs and stuff on YouTube as well. Yeah, there you go, dude. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ferret. Yeah. A few new videos on YouTube and everything. So a little bit more content out there and stuff. But I don't know, man. I hope you guys had a good day yesterday. It's good to be back. We'll get another day of Alan Wake remastered in here. But, you know, we're not going to be able to do that until we get into... Oh, dude, why is the overlay not running the 7TV emote? Dude, what? That's weird. Hold on. Try that again. Well, that's kind of odd. Ducky. Well, it might be something to do with the servers or something just not working right. I don't know. Everything's fine in chat. It's just not showing up on my overlays right. None of the 7 TV emotes are showing up. We'll have to see if it corrects throughout the day. If not, I'll have to look at it after the stream or something. It's kind of weird. I'll try to reload them again here after a while, and we'll see if it fixes everything. But let's do this, man. Let's get, yeah, maybe, yeah, nice try. Yeah, let's see if that one. Yeah, see, none of the 7 TV emotes are popping off right. That's really weird. What about regular Twitch emotes? Regular Twitch emotes should be fine, right? Let's try like a better Twitch TV too. Feels amazing, man. Does that one pop off? Yeah, it's just the 7 TV emotes. There's something weird going on with the 7 TV emotes right now. That's kind of weird. Yep, just the 7 TV emotes. Thanks, Ferret. Yeah. It's got to be something. There's some kind of desync with their servers or something, man, with it showing up on the overlays or something. I don't know. We'll try to reload the overlays here in a little bit and see if it fixes everything, but it happens sometimes. Thanks, Ferret. Let's go ahead and do this, man. Let's dive into video gaming news for today, October 26th, man. Let's see what we got. Let's go. Okay. So I've got our date range set for the past couple of days. Basically Tuesday through today, since we weren't live yesterday. Try to make sure we're catching up on everything. What is that? November 30th? Yeah. Okay. You know, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and pull this up and look for November's releases. That way we have an idea of everything that's coming our way for November. Not that we're going to be able to play anything, because we're going to be caught up in a little bit of a little title some of you might know called Baldur's Gate 3. But it's still good to be up to date on what games are coming out this coming month. So we'll take a look at this. Okay. Bro, what is this about? Can somebody explain this? The Talos Principle 2. Yes. I know Pinky's stuff. Pinky's literally going to do... You're not going to have time to sleep, bro. Pinky's going to... Not that you normally sleep anyways, but... Pinky's going to be working, playing Baldur's Gate 3 with me on stream, and then playing Talos Principle 2 off stream. That's literally Pinky's entire month of November. That's what Pinky's November is gonna be. Yo, you guys, I hit some people up in Discord last night, by the way, too, in some clips. Looks like Sayek saw his. Oh, Ferret saw the one with Sayek, yeah. Because you guys, I got some of those clips out of Ferret saw. I got some of those clips out of the the It Stills gameplay, where you guys were like doing the TTS stuff and the cheers. Just reduce it to 4.5 hours and you'll see. Oh, okay. Yeah, just make sure you got that liter of coffee ready, you know? Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody, Vault, I think Vault sent me something in Discord, dude, for the news today. Hold on. Yeah. Oh yeah, Ferret. I didn't get to look at that safe review either, dude. What was that about? Dumbest safe design I've ever seen. Jesus. Oh god. Where did maybe it was in suggestions. It's probably in suggestions. Here, let's see this. Yeah. Let's see what this is. There's a Twitter post. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, check this out. It's safe for word. Nice. Well played. Yeah, we'll look at it, dude. There's a ton of games, you know what I mean? For the King 2. Interesting. RoboCop. There's like a little bit of hype around RoboCop, but honestly, the game looks really repetitive to me. There's Talos Principle. Thirsty Suitors looks hilarious. We'll look at all of it. We'll look at. Oh, wait. Was that it? Was that it? No. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at all of it. We'll look at all of it. There's going to be a lot. But we'll check it all out. Yeah. So we had seen where we just kind of skimmed over an article. I don't even think we actually fully covered it. It was just we saw an article in our search that was about Connie Booth leaving PlayStation, but apparently was fired. Oh yeah, we'll take a look at this. Connie Booth was not let go. She did not retire. She was fired. Isn't being fired and let go the same thing? Yeah, have you seen Thirsty Suitors, Ferret? It's a really wild game. It's like this I think it's a female protagonist, and she's like, I think the setting is like kind of going back home, and yeah, it's weird. It's like part of it's like like an arcade style like skateboarding game, and then the other part of it's like this like interactions with these other like potential suitors, and it could be like people that are just interested in your main character initially, or it could be like past flames or something like that. And basically you get into these like verbal bouts, these verbal like altercations with them and stuff. But so there's no physical fighting in the game. But you get into these battles, but it's all with words and everything. Kind of. It looks really wild. I don't know. I'll show you. I'll show you when we come across it. This is wild. We'll hit on this though. Shout out to Vault for that info. Yeah, what is it about? Like, why is it that only hours after a game comes out, modders do stuff like this? You know what I mean? Like, but a developer can't get it done. What? Why? Dude, I fail to understand. With all the resources at the disposal of Konami, you know, why they couldn't add in 4K support, but a modder could do it within hours of the game's release, you know? Yes, I have, Pinky. Yo, I've actually got an article out there, too, on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, it's mixed right now, but if you look at a lot of it, dude, the performance is terrible on the game, and it's not a surprise, you know. Yeah, I'll pull it up too. We can look at it real quick. I looked at it last night actually. So 51%. That is not good, and if you look at a lot of the reviews, note, I'm not too much about FPS as long as it's playable. But this is what if you'll look at what a lot of people are saying, dude, people rocking like rigs, dude. Big rigs, getting like 20 to 30 frames in this game without anything built yet. Like, it's crazy. 3060 Ti running at 94% with a bare city. Like, it's crazy, dude. Doesn't run great. See, even the recommended ones are a lot of them are saying that like it doesn't run good. And they told us, dude, Colossal Order, which is the developer behind this game, said the game's not ready. You know? And I'm guessing Paradox pushed them to release it, the publisher. But I don't really care what the situation was. If it wasn't ready, it shouldn't have been released. Here, check this out. I put this up last night. This was from last week, but this is something we covered. So if you look at that right there, that's us basically finding an article in the news where Colossal Order basically came out and said, yo, the game's not ready, but we're releasing it anyways. And in the article, the author of the article was like, well, at least it's something from a developer telling us that it's not ready, even though they're releasing it, as opposed to so many developers releasing games not ready and not saying anything about it. But it's still crap. You know? How many people are actually going to be up to date with what the developer is pushing out on like social media or anything else about the game? They just know a game's releasing that they're interested in and they're going to buy it, right? So unless it's people that do like we do and are always trying to stay current on industry news and you know, things like that, they probably wouldn't be aware. So I don't know, man. It just seems bad. I mean, I don't care. You guys know the way I feel about it. If a game's not ready to be released, it shouldn't be released. This is not, you know, there's been too much accepting of developers just using patching as a crutch to fix games that weren't ready to be released in the first place. That's not the way it should work, man. That's not what patching's supposed to be for. Patching's supposed to be for unforeseen issues, adding content to games, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And here we are again, dude. And so I don't know. It's not a good look. And I basically blast them whenever I in that article that I just linked in chat. I blast them for it. It's terrible, dude. It's the same crap we see all the time. But they were just trying to get, I guess, ahead of the ball game a little bit with not receiving as much criticism by at least being able to go, well, we told everybody it wasn't going to be ready. That's not a good excuse, dude. If it wasn't ready, you shouldn't have released it. That's what it comes down to. That's the only real reason that I can figure that they even came out with some kind of like PSA about the game before it was released, is so they could backtrack and be like, well, look, we told people it wasn't going to be ready, so why'd you buy it? You know what I mean? It's gross. But this right here, I mean, you know, shout out to the modders, you know, the modding community of the gaming industry. The stuff they do is insanely beneficial for us as a community. You know, the things that they fix and improve about games and stuff like that, I just don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, these developers, with all the resources at their disposal, and then they didn't even take the time to add in something like 4K support for the new Metal Gear Solid collection, but then a modder takes care of it hours after the game's release. You know, I don't, it just, it blows my mind, dude, that, I mean, it's the community that really does gamer gods work for all of us, you know? It's just crazy. We'll pull it up and look at it. And I mean, shame on Konami for not doing stuff like this whenever apparently it's not a hard thing to do. So why did they not, you know? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's the. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's just, it's probably for a game like for games like these, right? Yeah, I mean, because we're not talking about like modern graphical fidelity games or anything, right? So, but I mean, you know, if you have a monitor or a TV or whatever that can support 4K, then, you know, obviously you want to run it at that if you can, right? Because it is going to be a little bit more crisp and a high fidelity than like maybe 2K or, you know, fully high def, whatever the game came with by default. So I think the thing for me is like, the more options you can give people, the better, right? We talk about that a lot, right? The more options you can give people, the better. And if it was this easy for somebody to do, why did Konami not just do it in the first place? Why not just give people options? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I understand what you're saying there too. Yeah, if it isn't really any improvement, why would they bother with it? Yeah, I could understand that sentiment more if it was like you know, like we're talking about, like if it was significant investment for resources and time to get that done, then yeah, absolutely. If it's negligible, the difference between the resolutions you were getting in the first place and 4K, then, you know, and it didn't make sense for them to invest to do that, yeah, for sure, understandable. But a modder did it in hours after the game's release. You know, it's like, come on, man. You know, yeah, obviously it wasn't hard. They just didn't want to take the time to do it, and that's not fun, dude. I think it's those things where it shows, you know, that this modder just showed that Konami just didn't care to invest in giving people easy options, easily incorporated video options, basically. Yeah, we talked about this, but I understand exactly where you're coming from with that notion there, Ferret, for sure. All right, let's get some of the sports stuff. By the way, dude, I've been loving hockey. Oh my god, dude. It's been so good having hockey back, man. Stars put an absolute beat down on the Penguins the other night. True's gonna be happy today because her team won last night. I know, I saw that. Sykes probably a little bit upset because they lost one of their players for about 6 to 8 weeks. What else do we have here? What sport am I missing, dude? Crappers. Whatever. I love hockey season, man. Jesus. It's so good. Yeah, one second, guys. Sorry. Lurk, no. Okay. We've talked a lot about this. I've got positive, and you know, there's a side of this that I feel like Sony missed on as well. But we've talked about it. Yo, lots of sales popping off at the end of next month. We got to start paying attention. Why owning the best PC hardware didn't make me a better gamer? Well, most of it's going to be skill, right? Skill issue. Am I right? But there's something to be said for certain like types of genres obviously benefit in a competitive environment from more frames. That means that you're going to see things faster, giving you a better reaction time inherently. But you've still got to be on your game. You got to be locked in. You've got to have the skills to get it done. Just because you see an enemy faster than another person or whatever, doesn't mean a whole lot if you miss your shot, right? So, I mean, skill is the biggest part of this, right? Hardware plays its role for sure. You know, there's a lot of hardware out there that gives you an advantage, but it's never going to be able to be better than what, skill can do for you. Wait, what? For instance, hats in Team Fortress 2 give you skill. So, expensive PC equals skill 2, right? I think that's correct. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But I think you're treading down the right pathway there, yeah. Also, the more LEDs you have, the more frames you get. Everybody knows that. So don't forget that too, right? If you're going to build a new PC or buy a new PC, the more LEDs, the more rainbow unicorn puke you have spewing out of your case, the more frames per second you get. That's just science. Yeah. Samsung's 240 hertz G4 gaming monitor on sale for $219. We've seen some decent monitor deals here lately. Thermal takes making monitors. I mean, to be fair, most manufacturers or retailers of monitors, they manufacture their monitors with only a couple of different panels inside. Everything else built around it is their own. But the panels, which is the main technology inside, are usually, I think, from like either Samsung or Logitech. Who's the main panel manufacturers nowadays? LED tape chain. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. I wrapped my daughter's bed frame, dude. I wrapped that in my daughter's bed frames wrapped in LED tape chain lights. Yeah. It's got probably like a remote on it yet or whatever, and you can like change up the different ways that it like pops off. That's what, if you remember, dude, whenever my stream station about a year and a half ago was in that other room, I had LED lights around the top of like the corner and the top of the wall and stuff. That's what it was. It was the tape chain. But dude, that stuff, the one I had was from a reputable manufacturer too, and they started just bonking out on me, dude. They were terrible. So that's when I bought these instead. That's cool, man. Do you like them? What was I getting ready to look for, dude? Oh, yeah. Who makes the panels? Oh, you haven't used them yet? Word. Yeah. LG and let's see here. I knew LG was one. Samsung, I thought. Let's see here. Don't know how removable it is. For me, I think it depends on like what kind of walls you have. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, I had mine and my walls are just like kind of textured a little bit. But it didn't really do anything to them whenever I removed mine, and mine were up there for a good minute, you know. It just be careful because if you need to, because you know all of the, if you're gonna like do a corner or whatever, you need to like loop it over, right? Don't just try to like pull it, like loop it around and stuff. That way it's not like kinking the circuits inside of there and stuff. You probably know that, but just, you know. So flat panel, yeah, who's the main manufacturers? Oh my god, dude. Cause it's probably just got like the sticky tape on the back of it all the way down or whatever, right? That's the way mine was. This is not gonna help me, dude. Samsung no longer makes LCDs. That's what Reddit's saying. And Reddit never lies. Let's look at this real quick. Panel part database. LG, AOU, LG. Those are 37 pluses. 34 to 35. AOU, Intelux, LG. LG's a lot of it. I knew that. AOU apparently. AOU. AOU and LG is apparently a lot of it. Okay. Who is AOU? Or is it AUO? Did I get it wrong? Hold on. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, merger in 2001 of Acer Display and Unipack. Ah. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. The more you know, man. Sorry. Yeah, looks like Thermaltech, though, is stepping into the monitor business. Interesting. We've talked about all the franchises that, oh, your monitors from them? Oh, for real? Nice. Have you had any, I mean, like I said, for the longest time now, most panels have been made by like just a few companies. Samsung used to, but apparently they don't anymore. And nowadays it's mostly just AUO or I think it's AUO. AUO is the panel, or LG. And then it's like basically that panel is, you know, taken and put inside third-party manufacturers, whether it be Sony or, you know, Samsung or ViewSonic or whatever. Oh, it's an AOC. It probably has an AUO or an LG panel in it, though. That's the way most of them work, you know. They just, it's the same thing with like video cards. It's basically the same concept, right? Like with NVIDIA or AMD, right? So they take like their base video cards, right? And then the third-party manufacturers like, you know, Gigabyte and MSI and all those different companies, they take the reference cards and they build their own like kind of system around it, and then they sell it at retail, right? It's the same thing with monitors. Basically the same thing. There's just a couple of, you know, the main component in there is the panel, and that's what, there's just like a couple of companies that actually make the panels. So then they take those panels and they build all their own stuff around the panel. We've talked about like all the franchises that Xbox and Microsoft now have out of the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and it's substantial. And that was one of those things I was trying to, you know, there was so much talk through this entire process of them acquiring that it was just so focused on Call of Duty. And I understand why, you know, it's a very unique, very lucrative title, but it's not like there wasn't a ton of other, you know, the portfolio was thick, boy. A big fat portfolio they were grabbing out of Activision Blizzard. They're going to be able to do a lot with. And we've covered it. So I'm not going to dive into that, but they've got a lot to work with. Alan Wake 2's requirements for hardware is insane. If you guys haven't seen this, we saw this Cappy brought this to my attention while we were playing Alan Wake the other day, because we're in the middle of playing Alan Wake 1 Remastered right now, right? But minimum requirements is like just GPU wise is like a 2070, I think. Recommended's like a 4070. This game, I don't know how well this game's gonna play for a lot of people on release. You know, what's the let's bring this up real quick. My bad. That's ultra PC requirements. So you know, if you're looking for Alan Wake 2 ultra PC requirements, you're talking about a 2K resolution, getting 60 frames. You're going to need a 4070 or a 7800 XT. Balanced DLSS. That's not bad. A 3700X, 16 gigs of RAM. That's not bad. That's not bad. But that, the minimum requirements they're showing, though, is even like a 2060, you know? I think it'll be fine on my rig, you know? I don't think I'll have too many issues. I mean, I'm not going to be playing this at like 120 frames at 2K or anything, but I'll probably be having to run like DLSS performance because I've got a 3070, and I usually run resolution of 2K 1440p. So I don't know. Well, that's 2160p, right? So if 1440p, I might be okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. And I've got a better CPU than that and everything. So we'll see how it goes, man. I don't know. But it's a very high hardware required game. Pretty insane. There are going to be probably a lot of people that are interested in playing Alan Wake 2 that are going to have some issues with that don't have fairly modern hardware to run it on. We've talked about that. Spider-Man 2 is killing it, dude. Let's look at the Metacritic again real quick. It was a 91 last time I looked. Yep. It's at a 90 and a 91 9.1 user score. It's very good. That's very, very good. Insomniac doing what they continuing their trend of making good games, man. I am excited for Wolverine. Let's go. Ooh, God, that would look really good in my rig, dude. Jesus. This white GeForce RTX 4070 Ti tough gaming, bruh. I've got a white, mostly white PC with some like black accent in it and stuff. This would look really good in there. I've already got a white GPU, but you know, 4070 Ti would be nice. I just don't have the money for it. You could basically buy a house with that, you know what I mean? We talked about this. What? Oh, no way. Cool, dude. They're crossing over with Choo Choo Charles for this this game Station to Station. Yo, that's sick. That's one of those games I wanted to play this year that I didn't get to. I wanted to play Choo Choo Charles and I didn't get to it. We're going to have to get it played next year. I don't know, maybe we'll just not even wait for Scaretober. I want to play it next Scaretober is what I want to do. Sucks I didn't get to it this year. Alright, let's look at our other search. I think actually the Steam Halloween starts either today or tomorrow. What's this? New PS5's optional disk drive requires an internet connection to connect. What? Compare it to a console for the first time. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Microsoft says Starfield's release was Game Pass's biggest ever new subs day. Yeah, look, man. I basically was telling everybody that there was a reason why they raised the price of Game Pass for the first time ever right before the release of Starfield. They were expecting it to do this, and I'm sure it was very lucrative for them. But we'll take a look at that. We talked about that on Tuesday. You want to know what's so funny about this article? Capcom says it's on track for an 11th straight year of growth after strong sales. Okay? Now let me show you something. Right there in chat is an article where Capcom's president wants us to pay more for our games. So, funny enough, before Exo Primal released this year, I was kind of praising Capcom for being one of the AAA studios that has continued to do pretty well in the industry. Good content, good performing games, stuff like that. And then Exo Primal hit. And I played Exo Primal, and it was an absolute cash grab. That game was gross. It could have been decent. It should have been a free-to-play game is what it should have been. Should have been a free-to-play game with all the monetization in it. But it wasn't. It was a full-price AAA game. It was on subscription service, which, thank God, because that's where people should have been playing it. But it was just riddled with monetization. And now, soon after that, we get this article where basically Capcom CEO comes out and says, hey, we're going to need people to start paying more for their games. And they're hitting their 11th straight year of growth after strong sales. I mean, when is enough? You know what I mean? It's starting to seem really scummy, dude. Starting to seem kind of gross. We'll talk about it as we get more into that article. Don't kid yourself. Former PlayStation CEO sounds alarm on video game industry. What is this about? Shut up. solo mode where the minigames are simply played in order. Game boasts 71 minigames, introduces smaller dual boards to the series, which are designed with only 2 players in mind. When it comes to Switch Online, when it comes to the Switch Online service on Friday, Mario Party 3 will bring the total list of Nintendo 64 games on Switch Online up to 26 in the West, following the addition of Excitebike 64 and Pokemon Stadium 2 in August. This lists all of the Nintendo 64 games that you can get currently. And with it will also be Mario Party 3 as of tomorrow. Nintendo has also confirmed that 1080 Snowboarding and Harvest Moon 64 will be added to the Nintendo 64 library in the future. That's awesome. Those are great games too. Cool. If you need the entire list, there it is. Moving on. Bro, what is all of this crap? Don't kid yourself. Former PlayStation CEO sounds alarm on video game industry. Sean Layden, the former CEO of Sony Group, Sony Computer Entertainment America, has expressed a cautionary note about the video game industry. Consolidation, the need for game preservation, and the financial challenges of blockbuster development are particularly concerning. Layden has consistently criticized the industry's reliance on expensive 40 to 60-hour blockbusters, advocating for a strategy of de-risking by focusing on sequels and established Hollywood franchises. Lade also voiced concerns about the recent wave of studio acquisitions by companies like Sony, Microsoft, Embracer, Take-Two. Consolidation, he argues, could diminish creative diversity with more teams dedicated to servicing existing projects. Yeah. So what they're talking about there, if you don't understand it completely, is basically what you see happen quite often will be bigger companies acquire smaller companies, smaller developers, and then they bring them in, and then instead of letting them continue to do what they've always done and work on their own unique projects, they go, you work for us now. You do what we need you to do. And we've got this big project that needs to meet a deadline. And so 3/4 of your development team are going to come work on this project that they've never had anything to do with before. Right? That's basically what it's talking about, right? My concern, this is a quote here, my concern around consolidation is that often it impacts creativity. Time slows down the bigger you are. Layden said on the Land Parties podcast, he also questioned the games industry's reliance on existing genres that have failed to attract new players. Throw it at me right now. What's one of the most trending kinds of genres or twists on genres that you see all the time? I'll tell you what mine is: extraction shooters or extraction games at all. Everybody's wanting to make extraction games right now. You know what I mean? It seems it's getting so polluted, dude. Genre diversification, he emphasized, is key to capturing a broader audience. If we continue to coalesce around the 4 or 5 genres, then we won't get new players, Layden said. Don't kid yourself that someone who said no to Call of Duty for the last 15 years is going to start suddenly saying yes to Call of Duty. Yeah, I'm in that basket, dude. I mean, I quit playing Call of Duty probably a decade ago, and I tried it again. I did try it again. I quit playing it about, actually, dude, probably closer to like 12 years ago, something like that. And then maybe around 2018, I tried to dive back into it, and I was like, yeah, meh. It just reinforced the fact that it wasn't really anything there for me. It was just Call of Duty, dude. I don't know. Preservation. Furthermore, Layden highlighted the challenge of accessing older games on current platforms. He urged industry leaders to recognize their responsibility, saying preservation is important. This isn't throwaway stuff we're making. It's criminal. We're not doing more to protect it. Yo, I agree. This is great. Yeah, I love it. Layden stressed that preserving gaming history is crucial for sharing the medium's legacy with future generations and ensuring the industry's continuity. I agree. I agree. Good quotes right there. Wholly agree with those statements, man. Okay. Jesus Christ. Capcom. This is a very conflicting thing for me. From some, a company that I was talking I was talking up in like the first half of this year, and then all of a sudden they started really doing some things that seemed real gross to me. Capcom says it's on track for an 11th straight year of growth after strong sales. And they have one of my most hyped games in development right now in Dragon's Dogma 2. But I was very disturbed, I guess, to see what they did with a title like Exoprimal. After this company, Capcom is a company that I had been talking up for a while. Again, first half of the year with so many bad releases, not from Capcom, in the AAA, realm of gaming, the gaming industry. So many like terrible performing releases and stuff like that. And I was like, Capcom's one of those companies that's continued to just do good stuff, man, year on end. They bring us good content. They bring us good performing games. And then came Exoprimal. And it performed fine. But it was so repetitive. And it was just riddled with monetization. It was such a cash grab. And it felt disgusting to see it. And honestly, like playing the game, they had a decent core there for something, and I would have been a bit better with how heavily monetized, like transaction shop wise, the game was and everything, if it had been free to play. But it wasn't. It was a AAA priced game. Luckily, it was on subscription services and everything, so people had the option to play it there instead of having to pay full price for the game. But if you didn't have a subscription service and you wanted to pay the game, people were paying full price for it, which is really gross. Full price game, and everything was monetized in it. I had to pay real money for almost everything in the game, man. It was gross. And battle pass, skins, you name it, dude, new characters or whatever. If you could grind for them, but it was a grind. And it really, the gameplay was just super repetitive. There was just they got it to a point where it was like, this is good enough to bring people into play, and let's just see how much money we can wring out of people. And then not too long after that, we get an article, which I linked in chat just a few minutes ago when we first found this article, which was Capcom's president wants you to pay even more for your games, right? So we see Capcom release this scummy ploy for, trying to wring as much money as they can out of people. And then their CEO comes out with some quotes talking about how they feel like we need to pay more for our games over the current AAA price tag, which already went up this year. And to be honest, it didn't need to. With all the other, and look, I'll shout out all the AAA developers that haven't resorted to scummy mechanics to get us to, pay more for games in different forms and fashions than just the initial retail price. But they're few and far between. Most AAA developers have found ways to get their extra money out of us without making the retail price go up. Whether it be battle passes or DLC that comes out 2 months after a game releases. Cosmetics, you name it. dude. There's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of ways in which they've found ways to pull in more money from us without it looking like they're raising the retail price of the game. And they still did that this year, too. So this whole Capcom thing, especially after seeing this, with Capcom saying they're on track for an 11th straight year of growth after strong sales, just reinforces the fact to me that there's no need for them to raise prices. It was absolutely disgusting to see them do Exoprimal. And it sucks to have been looking at them as one of those AAA developers that was something solid in the industry, and then watch them do this kind of stuff and just kind of make me retract all those sentiments, you know? But we'll read this real quick. Capcom says it's on track for an 11th straight year of growth after strong sales. Street Fighter 6 tops 2.47 million sales. Resident Evil clears 150 million. For the 6 months ended September 30th, 2023, the Japanese publisher said sales and profits rose largely thanks to the continued momentum of its core digital contents business. Total software sales during the first half of the year came in at 22.6 million units, up from 21.3 million a year earlier. Capcom said digital sales of its games were particularly strong. The company's best-selling game during the first 6 months was Street Fighter 6, which has now surpassed 2.47 million units since its release at the start of June. The RE4 remake sold a further 1.66 million copies during the first half of the fiscal year, taking its lifetime total to 5.45 million following its release in March. Capcom's top-selling franchise of all time has now surpassed 150 million sales. Publisher launched a new IP, Exoprimal, in mid-July for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation consoles. The game, which was available for Game Pass on console and PC at launch, sold fewer than 940,000 copies by the end of September because it was disgusting. During the 6-month period, Capcom said net sales were up 52.7% year over year to almost 75,000 million yen. Operating income rose 54.5% to 33,835 million yen. Ordinary income jumped 57.3% to 36,164 million yen. And net income leapt 56.7% to 25,287 million yen. Company said its results put it on track to achieve its full year earnings forecast, along with 11 consecutive years of operating profit growth. This was disgusting. And it's really, really concerning for me again to hear quotes coming out of their CEO talking about they need to raise prices of their games on us again. I'm not going to deny the fact that Capcom still does good stuff. They consistently push out good content. Their games perform well and stuff. But man, it was really gross to see Exoprimal. And it's really, really concerning for me to see those quotes out of their CEO, which ultimately is just coming off as a greed-based situation. I can't help but look at it any other way. I understand that, this industry is volatile. It's fickle. It's very expensive nowadays to make AAA games. The budgets have gotten incredibly large because these companies feel like they need to put just as much of that budget into the promotion of the games as they do the development of the games. But we've also seen that that's not necessarily the truth either. Games like Hi-Fi Rush have proved that that doesn't have to be the case. If you make good content, it is inevitably going to circulate through the gaming industry, the consumers and the community, because it goes by word of mouth, right? If you make good content, and Hi-Fi Rush was a AAA developer in Tango, right? AAA developer dropped a $30 game on us, shadow dropped, almost no promotion or anything. So it's not like it has to be done that way. So I think that the part of the problem here is that a lot of these big, gigantic companies like Capcom have gotten stuck in this mode of not being able to see things be done any other way. And so they're like, oh, we need more. 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 And who's going to pay for that? We are, as the consumer, right? And I don't know. Everybody's it's going to be very respective to each individual person as to what you're willing to pay for what you feel like you're getting entertainment wise out of this stuff. But I think we're hitting a kind of a breaking point here for a lot of stuff. I mean, we've always, in the gaming industry, there's always been an issue of price for a lot of people. It's always been an obstacle for a lot of people, price has. And it's not getting any cheaper, that's for sure. The thing that's concerning, again, like the AAA stuff, where they just take these dump trucks full of money and just dump it on a development team and go, here, make this. And sometimes it turns out decent, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really bad. And then how often do you get these indie teams that have almost nothing, a fraction, man, of what these AAA budgets have, and they come out with these bangers all the time, I don't know. I think a lot of these bigger companies, and don't get me wrong, there's still some really good AAA companies out there, but it feels like they're getting fewer and further between all the time. And a lot of it's because I feel like they get so greed blinded, they don't know how to do anything unique, or the vision's just lost for what gaming's supposed to be on them anymore. And now, unfortunately, I think, with like Capcom CEO and those statements about needing gamers to pay more, that I can't help but feel like that's something that comes off as just a greedy statement. And whenever I hear greedy stuff like that coming out of companies, it makes me very, very worried about what to expect out of those companies in the future. Well, we'll see what happens. Microsoft says Starfield's release was Game Pass's biggest ever new subs day. Yeah, this was to be expected. There was a lot of hubbub about Microsoft raising their prices when they did, which was like, about a month and a half before Starfield released. And I was like, look, the reason they're raising the prices right now is because Starfield's coming out. It was going to be very lucrative for them to raise the prices even a little bit. There were going to be so much, subscription resubs, new subscriptions, all across the board. It was going to be a big deal for Microsoft to have, a little bit, at least a little bit of an increase for Game Pass because of Starfield's release. They didn't really have any reason to be raising the price otherwise. They hadn't come out with really anything over the past year, to really entice people to be buying into Game Pass as far as like their day one releases or anything. It's still a good subscription service otherwise, don't get me wrong, but a big pull of it is a big pull for consumers is that day one release stuff, right? And they hadn't done a whole lot until Starfield. So Starfield generated the highest single-day ad of Game Pass subscribers in the history of the service, Microsoft has claimed. The news was shared during Microsoft's latest earnings call for the quarter one period covering July to September, which includes the release of the much-anticipated RPG. Quote, we released Starfield this quarter to broad acclaim, CEO Satya Nadella said during the call. More than 11 million people have played the game to date. Nearly half of hours played have been on PC. And on launch day, we set a record for the most Game Pass subscriptions added on a single day ever. Starfield was the best-selling game in the US in September. The game was available day one on Xbox Game Pass, incentivizing users to sign up for the subscription service. In addition to the full-price version of the game, many players also purchased the deluxe edition upgrade for Starfield, which allowed them to play the game a few days early before it entered Xbox Game Pass. This is one of those things that I wish people would quit buying into. I think this is a terrible incentive to try and get people to pay more money. And usually it's like $20 to $30 more dollars. Quite often. 20 to 30 more bucks. And you'll get like a few cosmetics. And they'll be like, yo, you can come play the game 3 days before anybody else can. And really what you are is you're a final beta tester. That's what you are. Quite often. And it doesn't really do anything for you to get in there, more often than not. Anyways, get in there a few days early. It doesn't do much, especially for like a single player campaign game. If it's a competitive game, maybe get in there, get some levels or whatever. Then it could potentially give you a little bit of an edge before, the rest of the old regular purchasers get in there and start playing and stuff. But this is something that, dude, I really wish people would quit buying into this ploy, man. It's not cool. According to Microsoft, Starfield was primarily responsible for growth in Xbox Game Pass and first-party content, which saw its revenue grow 9%. Microsoft's gaming business enjoyed a record July to September quarter in terms of revenue generated, partly driven by the release of Starfield. Xbox parent said it had generated over $3.9 billion from gaming, which is its highest ever quarter one reported for the brand and a record for a non-holiday quarter. Microsoft said revenue for the Xbox content and services, which is by far the division's biggest money generator, was up 13% year over year, driven by growth in Xbox Game Pass. Yep, I kind of expected this to be the case. It's not a big surprise for me, really. New PS5's optional disk drive requires an internet connection to connect. The online requirement has raised preservation concerns. This article has been updated to provide additional technical information. We'll see what that is. The upcoming optional disk drive for the PlayStation 5 will require an internet connection to pair it to a console for the first time. As spotted on the back of the box for the upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 PS5 Slim Bundle, small print confirms that players who purchase the new model with the optional drive will be required to connect to the internet when pairing it to a machine for the first time. It's likely that this is a security measure in order to ensure that the disk drive is a legitimate one and not a third party. However, it has raised, some preservation concerns because the accessory will require an internet connection for verification. There will potentially come a time when the servers need to verify the license will no longer be operational. It's possible that by the time this happens, Sony will release an update that removes the requirement, and in any case, it's likely to be many years in the future, long after the PS5 is Sony's main console. The issue appears to stem from the way both Sony and Microsoft pair their consoles' disk drives with their motherboards. As explained in 2020 article by Wired, each disk drive has a daughter board pairs with the console's motherboard, essentially creating a handshake unique to that specific pairing. In the article, Wired removed the disk drives from two launched PS5 consoles, swapped them over, but the consoles would refuse to recognize the other drive despite them being identical hardware. Maybe partly due to Section 1201 of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which says it's illegal to circumvent a technological measure that effectively controls access to a copyrighted work, which in this case is the firmware on the disk drive. As such, in order to prevent piracy and also perhaps third-party repairs, Sony and Microsoft use the pairing method to ensure that each console can only work with the specific disk drive assigned to it, meaning users can't modify or replace the drive. Yep, nice ferret. Random time, yeah. The initial online connection requirement for the external PS5 drive then may be a security check designed to verify the drive, then create the unique pairing between the drive and the console. Sony's new PS5 model will launch this November in the US before rolling out elsewhere over the following months. New model will come with 1 terabyte storage for both editions. Unlike the current model, those who purchase the PS5 digital edition will be able to add a Blu-ray disc drive later, as it will also be sold separately for $80 US, 120 euros, or 100 pounds. Horizontal stand will be included with the new PS5 model. Also, a new vertical stand compatible with all PS5 models will be sold separately for 30 US, 30 euros, or 25 pounds. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I understand the preservation concerns here. I also understand why PlayStation would do something like this. There's always going to be the concerns about piracy, you know, and stuff like that. Prevents user from repairing their own stuff. That's so there's also something coming into play here though, right? Apple bought Sony or something. Wait, what? Yo, nice random mode there, by the way, Pinky. Here, let me get mine in. So there's something happening. Well, it's not. But so console is always trying to take precautions though, because there have been issues over past generations, right? And people are always trying to figure out ways to get it done. And whenever you're incorporating something like this, where you have detachable disk drives made specifically for console, there are going to be people that try to take that technology, yeah, and like attach it to something like a PC so they can, take that data, put it onto the PC, and, start putting those games onto, the internet, stuff like that. There's a lot of different things you could do with that potentially. So they're trying to eliminate as much of those potential possibilities, right? So that's what I'm getting at. If you can't pair it, people are going to figure it out. Don't get me wrong. People will figure out how to do it. People are smart and dedicated to trying to get around, circumvent these protective measures, right? So don't get me wrong. But consoles always trying to do the best they can to prevent that kind of thing from happening. Um, you know, there's always been the issue of like the jailbreaking. You remember back in the day on like PS2 and PS3, man, where for a while there, people were able to like actually make copies of games and stuff before Sony figured out how to prevent it. There's always been stuff like that, right? So, they're always going to be trying to find ways to keep that from happening. I think that's part of what this is. I'm not saying it's the whole thing, but oh yeah, yeah, fair, yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a lot of that kind of stuff. Yep. We'll see how this plays for him moving forward, though. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yo, this is gonna be wild. Cutesy train game Station to Station is getting a horrifying crossover. The update promises to turn your serene railway world upside down. Check it out, dude. Choo Choo Charles. Relaxing railway management simulation game Station to Station revealed its crossover with Choo Choo Charles in celebration of Halloween. Two Star Games' Choo Choo Charles is a decidedly different type of railway management game to Station, as it involves the players trying to survive while a bloodthirsty train spider stalks them. Check out the trailer for the collaboration below. I wanted to play Choo Choo Charles this year and I didn't get to it, man. It sucks. Active using black sharp to cover the outermost. Oh yeah, 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 dude. Yeah. That's pretty cool. As a result of the monster's invasion into the game, developer Galaxy Grove and publisher Prismatica shared that all freight trains in the game have been possessed by the infamous Choo Choo Charles, turning your serene railway world upside down. This is an optional appearance for the game, said Galaxy Grove, and the train spiders can be switched on or off through its menu. Fun idea that we had, and Gavin from 2-Star Games was kind enough to let us bring it to life. It added of the creative collaboration that brought the crossover into being. Update will be live from October 25th to November 2nd. Galaxy Grove, Prismatica, and 2-Star Games have also announced a Chill and Thrill Trains bundle containing both games, available on Steam. Saves off 10% from their total price, and this offer will expire on November 2nd. That's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Yeah. Okay, here we go. We kind of talked about this a little bit before. This is always wild to me that, like, again, if it was this easy, why was this not taken care of by Konami in the first place? It took a modder just hours to add 4K support to the Metal Gear Solid collection. Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2 out of the retail are locked at 720p on PC. But getting them to run at higher resolutions has turned out to be trivial with a mod. So if a modder can do it in hours after their release, why is the developer not doing this for us on release? Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, again, I understand, Ferret and I were talking about this earlier when we first found this article. It's a different situation. If you're talking about a resolution upgrade that's really going to be negligible, you're not going to be able to tell much of a difference, and the amount of resources, money, personnel, time spent trying to incorporate that is going to not be worth it for the developer. I understand that. Okay, fine. But obviously, that is not the case here. As Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 being locked at 720p, there's going to be a big difference in the resolution jumping from 720p, which is not even fully high def, to a 4K resolution. Right? And it was obviously very easy. And even if it wasn't a huge difference, the fact that it was so easy to get it done, why would you not just give your consumers and the gamers that option? If it's that easy. I love that the modding community is amazing. They do so much stuff. Fixing games, which unfortunately falls on them quite often because so many developers are crap at fixing their games after release, to just great quality of life, helping older games run better on modern hardware. I mean, you name it, dude. Fun stuff in games, wild stuff in games. The modding community is amazing. And I think this is one of the reasons why I love modders. It shows everybody how lazy developers are sometimes of just not giving us the things they should. This is a great example. Why? If it was so easy to get us better resolutions, why did they not do it? Other than the fact they were being lazy. There's no other excuse. And what may be a land speed record for highlighting the inadequacy of a PC port, Modder Surge has published a small tool for the new Metal Gear Solid Master Collection ports that enables them to run at 4K or other resolutions. I kind of figured. Well, okay. So, whenever I say developer, it's the company as a whole. I'm not pointing a finger at like a certain member of the team or anything like that, but it falls on that company, right? Whether it be a specific department or division within that development team, you know, or that development company, like a team within, or the management themselves or whatever. It is what it is. And it still doesn't make sense. So, I mean, the company is the company, is the company, is the company, is the company. And whatever happened in there for them to go, yo, let's be lazy and not do this, somewhere along the lines that happened. Right? I don't know who to put the blame on other than the company as a whole. Yeah. And it still feels bad. And these are the kinds of things that need to change for us, which is why it's important that I feel like we point this stuff out. If it's this easy, why are we not having it incorporated as an option, right? So I don't know who to necessarily point a finger at internal to that company other than the fact that the developer missed, right? Despite Konami's confusing claims over the last few months, players learned today that the emulated HD remasters of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 both render at 720p on PC, which makes for a particularly blurry picture on higher resolutions, 1440p, 2K, or 4K monitors. This mod, which was released approximately 10 hours after the game's unlocked on Steam, fixes that. And it is just 64.5 kilobytes. I tested the MGS resolution patch in the opening minutes of the Metal Gear Solid 3, setting the game to render at 3840 by 2160 4K resolution. The difference in image quality is stark. Yeah, absolutely it is. Yep. And this is what we were kind of wondering about, right, Ferret? What would the difference be? Yeah. It's like basically going from 720p is like having blur mode on all the time, right? Yeah, it's noticeable. It absolutely is. It's like having a constant blur mode on. Yeah, it's quite obvious the difference, you know. So I would say even just going from like 720p to high def is probably going to be a decent improvement. Obviously, 720p to 4K, that's a big difference. I would say especially even going from like 720p to like 2K resolution or 1440p, you know, it's going to be quite noticeable. Yeah. It's possible this resolution change breaks some of the game's visual effects, which were designed very specifically around the PS2's hardware from the opening minutes. However, it looks flawless. As eagle-eyed players of the game have pointed out, some of those effects were already changed in the porting process to the PS3 in the 2011 HD collection, which this release is based on. Sticking to the resolution for 3D games in 2023 remains a baffling choice, especially because there are some parts of the games Konami has gone in to modify to correct a few glitches that exist in the HD collection. Surfacing a resolution option for players would have gone an incredibly long way in soothing anger at this remaster. The MGS resolution path apparently causes some UI issues in Metal Gear Solid 2, or rather, changing the resolution in general causes those issues. But I have a suspicion modders will be quick to solve that problem in the coming days. You know they will. Before scrutinizing the two games for any other visual oddities caused by rendering at 4K. To change the resolution, just follow the simple instructions on the GitHub page linked above. You'll need to download a D3DLL or D3D11 file, D11 file, and the resolution patch. Then stick both in the game's install folder. You can then open the MGS resolution patch INI, that's a config file. To configure the resolution, it defaults to 4K. Super easy. Yeah, that's definitely you know, I mean, you can see in the foliage and stuff too, but that's where you're going to see most of the difference is on the character. Just in this screenshot though. There would be other screenshots that'd probably be more noticeable, you know, depending on what was in the background. But like obviously, like this tree right here, you're not going to notice much of a difference at all right there. See that? But like back here, huge difference. Same as all this. Quite different. It's like everything's just so blurry, dude. You know, and then the character itself is much better. I'm just saying, like playing a game. Obviously, you know, back in the day, we didn't have a choice. You know, that was as good as it got. You know what I mean? And that was banging back then. But this is a modern port that should have had these options in it, and that's just laziness to me. That's not really acceptable. Especially when somebody has proven this was a very easy thing to take care of. You know, what a great flipping a screenshot too. Like, this was good. So I don't know. Feels bad, Konami. And thanks to the modders there for taking care of that. Konami debuts first in-engine look at Metal Gear Solid 3's remake. The remake will run on Unreal Engine 5. Big surprise there. Konami assured the first in-engine look at Metal Gear Solid 3's remake. Footage debuted during an Xbox partner preview livestream on Wednesday and offered the first glimpse of gameplay running on Unreal Engine 5. First revealed during a PlayStation showcase earlier this year, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater will be released for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Let's take a look. Bro, what? Looks good, man. Bro, that angle had me tripped out for a second. I was like, what is happening? You know it was, bro. You didn't know that Crab Champions came out of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater? That's where that game originated from. Yeah. Konami describes the title as a faithful remake. A new generation of players and loyal fans alike can experience the origin story of the famed Big Boss and witness how his legend was forged in the crucible of Operation Snake Eater. Konami has confirmed that neither Hideo Kojima nor Kojima Productions is involved with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. They are not involved, quote, a Konami spokesperson said earlier this year. However, the development team will work hard to create this remake and also the ports so that they can be enjoyed on multiple platforms by even more players all around the world. It did look good, as it should. There have been some deals here lately on some monitors. Let's see what this is. Samsung's 240 Hz G4 gaming monitor on sale for $219. Real deals, bros. High refresh rate, great for esports. It doesn't look like it's a curved monitor. What are we talking about? Is like a 27-inch? Yeah. Plenty of esports type games available to play these days. If you take any of them semi-seriously, you know that frame rates and latency matter, especially in games like first-person shooters where accuracy and performance make a difference. Luckily, there is a decent sale on Samsung's Odyssey G4 gaming monitor at only $219, thanks to a discount at Best Buy. This gaming monitor sports the features required for competitive esports gaming, such as high refresh rate and a fully high-def resolution. This is the same. So we saw a monitor, what was it, on Tuesday? It was like $130. Same thing. It had a high refresh, it was like 160 hertz refresh rate, but it was curved. 27-inch curved 160 hertz, and it was fully high def too. So 1080p. But it was like $130. I can't remember. It was an MSI, I think it is what it was, right? I think it was an MSI monitor. It was like almost $100 off, I think. Obviously, this is quite a bit higher refresh rate, but it's not curved like the other one was. One display port, 2 HDMI ports. Let's look this thing up real quick on Artings. What's the model here? Where's this at? Take a look. This should be it. Yep, that's it. Looks like it got a 7.8 for gaming. Basically, their overall verdict, I'll just read this, but if you were at all interested in this, you can compare it to other monitors, similar monitors. They go into full detail about build quality, style, ergonomic stand. I mean, you can keep diving into, they do a very, very deep review process of all the products they look at. But I will look at their overall synopsis here, summary for the gaming review. So the Samsung G4 is very good for gaming, has a fast 240 Hz refresh rate, and both FreeSync VRR support and G-Sync compatibility to reduce screen tearing. Motion also looks smooth thanks to its quick response time, particularly with high frame rate signals. Additionally, it has low input lag for a responsive feel. Sadly, it has a low contrast ratio that makes blacks look gray when gaming in the dark. Pros, high 240 Hz refresh rate, the FreeSync VRR and G-Sync compatibility, good response time, low input lag with VRR enabled. Cons, low native contrast, terrible black uniformity. I think a 27-inch monitor from my own preference is fine without being curved. I don't necessarily want to go any bigger than a 27-inch without it being curved. I think going above 27 for the way I like my setup, how close I sit to my monitors, I start needing curved after 27 to kind of pull in the peripherals of everything. But obviously, again, you're not going to be getting anything over fully high def here, only 1080p. But, you know, it might be worth a look for anybody that might be in the market for a new monitor. Especially if you're not worried about anything with high res, but really good refresh rates and stuff, it might be there for you. So take a look at that stuff. Let's look at this last. How about that? Shout out to our buddy Vault. Vault Chaplin, man, hooked us up with some news here. So apparently we had seen where it looked like Connie Booth had left Sony. That was what we were hearing out of Sony PlayStation, but apparently that's not the case. Connie Booth was fired from PlayStation, it's claimed. On Monday, it was revealed that longtime PlayStation head of production Connie Booth was no longer with Sony. Her exit came after 34 years with the company and seemed to take a lot of people by surprise. Now, after a couple of days of sitting on the news, it appears we have more information on her departure from Sony. According to David, is that Jaffe, the designer known for creating the Twisted Metal and God of War franchises, Booth didn't just leave the company, rather she was fired. Okay, here we go. She was fired, he says. She didn't retire. She didn't quit. She was fired. There was apparently almost no notice, no advanced warning. It just kind of happened. He says that he was told the frustration surrounding PlayStation's pivot to focusing on games as a service was blamed on Connie. Nobody can quite figure out how this was Connie's fault, he said, while mentioning that outgoing Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan was convinced that games as a service was the future of gaming. Should be noted that he has only 2 sources give him this information via email. However, he said during his video that the information he was given was confirmed by people within Sony, so take that as you will. Insider Gaming has reached out to multiple sources within Sony about the claims. As of publishing, no responses have been received. Should they come, we will update the story accordingly. Interesting. Huh. And then on Twitter, Connie was not let go. She did not retire. She was fired. Sean Layden was escorted out of the building when he was let go. Jim Ryan was convinced that games as a service was the future and told PlayStation first-party studios to start making them. PlayStation studios were unhappy about this direction. Cancellation of factions, and that could have led to Jim Ryan finally being ousted. Cancellation of factions made a lot of PlayStation studios upset, causing internal turmoil. Between that and the games as a service direction, Sony blamed it on Connie Booth and fired her. The vast majority of people who worked under Connie are gone, and it seems that they left at the same time she did. Angie Smets is awesome. No negative things to say about her. Apparently, Herman Holst was in big favor of cutting all the Japanese studios. Japanese Contact wasn't a big fan of Herman. Interesting, dude. We'll see what happens with this. That's weird, man. It almost seems like Jim Ryan was like the head of this, like, yo, games as a service is where we need to go. And so Connie Booth like took the brunt of the criticism for it since he's not there now or something. I don't know. It's weird. We'll probably get more details on this front. I don't know. It's a little bit odd, but yeah. Interesting. Here we go. This is the last article I have. Anybody has anything else to add for the news today before we move on, let me know and we'll address it. But we're just going to take a look at all the games that are supposed to be releasing here in November. Notable games anyways, for this month or the coming month, since we're almost in November. That way people are aware of what games are coming out when, and we'll be able to keep track of that, okay? Tabo, what up, buddy? So on November 1st, This Bed We Made. And on the 2nd, we're getting Achilles, Legends Untold for the King 2. That'll be a big deal for people. Gangs of Sherwood, which looks like it could be okay. My Time at Sandrock, Phantom Galaxies, Plate Up, Power Wash Simulator VR, RoboCop Rogue City. It looks okay, but it looks repetitive. I don't know what to think, really. Slime 3K, Star Ocean The Second Story, and the Talos Principle 2. I think I know somebody that's like really excited about this. I'll try to think about who it is. Thirsty Suitors as well. Yo, if you haven't seen Thirsty Suitors here, I'll show you. We were talking about this. Thirsty Suitors real quick. This looks wild. There's been a bit of hype about this game.
Still think it's a good idea to go home? They all hate you, Jala. Can you blame them?
Doing pretty fine. Cool, good, man.
To just give up.
Dad, stop being so sensible.
Found out you were colorblind?
Timber
Wild.
Hills, our
Like how
hometown.
colorblind? Because there are
Full of
like
dust,
variations of it,
monkeys,
right?
Parental expectations and your past mistakes.
What color's my shirt, dude?
Hope you're ready for some long-delayed emotional catharsis. Because your exes are looking for revenge. Or maybe a date.
Are we flirting?
Or are we fighting?
Why not both?
Close. It's actually purple,
Guys, they're so
but it does look navy blue.
powerful.
It does. Yo, check it out though.
So, I have to make up with my first love.
I'll
find out
agree,
what's
it does
going on
look
with
navy
the
blue.
skate cult run by a
It's actually
bear
purple.
mascot. Win my mother's approval and track down my sister who's
Oh, it was a joke. Didn't read
all
the end.
before the
Oh.
most dangerous battle of all.
My mother is coming to Timber Hills.
Oh, it really came out of the purple. Oh, yeah.
The women in your family, they're all terrifying.
Well, funny enough, I'm wearing purple.
I'm doomed.
This game looks wild. Battle your exes, disappoint your parents.
Die young.
Step to the left.
The game looks cool. It looks very different, you know. So yeah, it's like it's got this whole like the combat's turn-based, over the top with upgrade special abilities and unique mood system that lets you take advantage of vulnerabilities. Take the fight to the skate punks, random suitors, and ultimately your exes. But the fighting is never like physical. It's all like verbal, like encounters and stuff, I think. Skateboarding in the game as well. Skate, grind, wall run across Timber Hills with intricate movesets, combos, and challenges. Unravel the mysteries of Barefoot Park while battling skate punks and their leader, Soundy the Bear. Cooking in the game too. So there's like this whole like cooking mechanic in there. Yeah. Yo, Vault, what up, dude? Yo, we just hit on that. Thanks for that that piece of news about Connie, dude, with Sony. I just hit on that, dude. I appreciate it. Yo, I tagged you in a clip in the Discord, by the way, dude. If you haven't seen it yet, tagged you in there last night. Yeah, it's definitely different. It looks like it could be pretty cool, actually. It's very vibrant. It's got it's like a mix up of like some RPG battle stuff and some like Tony Hawk style like arcade skateboard stuff, and then like some cooking mechanics in there and everything too. Who knows, dude? It looks like it could be kind of wild. I'm actually kind of interested in just seeing how it does, so we'll keep track of it. So November 3rd, we'll bring Bratz, Flaunt Your Fashion, DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing, Fashion Dreamer, Quantum Error, and WarioWare Move It. November 6th, Football Manager 2024, The Invincible. And then November 7th has Spellforce Conquest of Io, Tintin Reporter. November 8th has Beyond Sunset. November 9th, Cuisinier and Demio Battles. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. Wild Shade Unicorn Champions. November 10th has Air Twister, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. That's a big deal for a lot of people. The day before. You guys remember this one? Oh, Jesus, Thibaut. Brutal. Oh, you just saw it, Vault? Nice, dude. Yeah. You guys remember the day before? I don't think this game's going to release. I really don't. If you don't remember the day before, this game was like the most wish-listed game on Steam for like a year and a half. And Speaking. Yeah, so this game was like supposed to release earlier this year or at the end of last year. What was it? All right, Thibaut, take it easy, buddy. It's good to see you, man. So this game got delayed. There was a bunch of weird stuff. Like it was about to release and they didn't have the copyright to the name of the game. And so there was a big like debacle that happened with that. And then there was a bunch of people calling out the devs of the game saying that the game wasn't real. It wasn't actually a thing and it got delayed. There's just been a bunch of weird stuff that's happened. And they're still sticking to the this game releasing on the 10th so far, I guess. Yeah, it was like March of this year, yeah. Yeah, it is a really weird situation. There was a lot of hype behind this game, and now I don't expect anything from this. Really weird. November 14th will bring Farming Simulator 22, Gods of the Twilight, and Hogwarts Legacy to the Switch. November 15th, Checkmate Showdown, Lake Season's Greetings, The Last Faith, Teardown. November 16th brings Dredge the Pale Reach DLC, which is sick. November 16th as well, Flashback 2, Jagged Alliance 3, Lodelmot. The 17th of November is Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, Persona 5 Tactica, and Super Mario RPG. Oh my god. Dude, Super Mario RPG, this is the remake, right? That is coming out on the Switch, and this is my favorite Mario game of all time. I love this flipping game, dude. So I'm really excited for this. The Walking Dead Destinies, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin, and on the 20th we get In Stars in Time. 21st is Worldless. 28th is Calico Possum Edition. 28th is also Last Train Home. 29th is Gothic 2 Complete Classic IHOP Edition. Sorry. And the 30th is Biomutant for the Switch. November to be determined date releases: Big Fat Battle, Cricket 24, and Tintin Reporter, Cigars of Pharaoh, and Wantless. If you guys need the list, here you go. You can always ask me for this too. You can always ask me for that if you need it. It got basically month by month, okay? So you, up here at the top, you can see, you can just like click on the month. It'll take you to the month of what the releases are going to be, okay? But it felt appropriate to go ahead and hit on that since November is right around the corner for us. Yeah. Yo, did you guys, oh, that wasn't good, dude. We might have some connection issues with the, we'll see how it goes. Yo, are the 7 TV emotes working yet? Did they start working? Or are they still jacked on the overlays? Gosh darn it, man. Let's reload that real quick. Try that again. Yeah, we're all busters, dude. We're all, oh yeah, dude, it works now. Okay, cool. All right, let's go. Feels good. If you haven't seen my shirt, dude, I'm showing off my new shirt today. Look, for those spooky vibes. Cute spooky vibes, you know? My wife got me this shirt yesterday. I was really excited. I thought it was hilarious. You like that? Yeah, dude. So, I don't know. You guys rock, dude. Feels good to be back. I hope everybody had a great day yesterday. Let's get some tunes popping off real quick. There we go. Feels good. Great news segment. We're going to go play day 2 of Alan Wake Remastered. We're going to have a great flipping day. It looks like it's going to be nice and stormy for me here, which I love. So hopefully it won't take the stream down, depending on how bad the storm gets. But, you know, we're going to have a good day. So, I don't know, man. If anybody's been able to hang out with us that's not all that familiar with what we do here, we're live 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday. We start off at roughly 6 a.m. CST, CDT. Kick it off with video gaming news like we just did. That's the way we always start all of our streams off before we segue into playing games for the rest of the day like we are about to do right now. But all of our previous content, whether it be the video gaming news segments, the gameplay playthroughs we've done, the funny wild clips and highlights, all that stuff is always out there as highlights and playlists on the Twitch channel, as well as VODs and playlists on the YouTube channel. So go check out the content. And if you're enjoying it, come hang out with us. We've got an amazing community of people that are part of what we do here, man. And it's all about having a good time, enjoying video games, enjoying each other's company, man, lifting each other up, and, you know, just being a cool, chill vibe, good vibe community and everything, man. So if that's your jam, then you probably belong here with us. So we're always looking for more people that kind of jive in with what we do here, man, to come be a part of what we do. So I don't know. Other than that, happy flipping Thursday. Hope everybody's had a great day yesterday and a good day today so far. We're gonna go play games. Stream's not going down. I'm going to run a little bit of an outro here for the news segment. But, you know, if you're not moving on to the gameplay segment with us, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. And we'll do another video gaming news segment tomorrow. Same time as always. So we'll catch you for that one for October 27th. All right. Be right back for the gaming.